Well, hello, hello. Good morning, everybody. This is Justice's Waiting Room, a daily live podcast where we discuss news and politics. And I'm a socialist, so hey, I just want everyone to have universal health care, education, income, and housing. Get logged in here. Hello, hello. You know how we do. Every morning, right off rip, we play. Morning, Dubs. Hope everybody had a great week. Ready for the weekend. If you want to listen to the opening song, I chose Edwin Starr's War. I think it's pretty relevant. Missed a couple days. Yeah, well, yeah, got stuff going on. Right? Not the center of the universe. Good to have you back. We want to talk about probably the most important thing we'll talk about today. Okay, a bill was submitted. Okay, let's try to Illinois. So now you're out of hopium. The fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? Most important thing. Like people just come in and say shit. People I don't even know or interact with. Not now you've changed. Like what the fuck are you talking about? Is that your idea of an interaction with another adult? Is to never fucking speak to them before, and the first time you speak to me, you tell me that I've become someone else, as though my words changed somehow? Am I speaking fucking Sputnik? I'm not like everyone you met that you can just say whatever the fuck you want to and there not be. What the fuck are you talking about? Coming back. What do you mean? So you're gonna talk about atoms. Yesterday, a bill was submitted to Congress, the Hand Power Back to the People bill, to reverse Citizens United. So that's hey, that's a huge piece of news. It's something I've said has to happen. In order for democracy to thrive, you have to get corporations out of politics, right? We've talked about many places just bending the knee, kissing the ring. Yeah, yeah. I think we needed some good news. So I wanted to get on here and share with my audience good news first and say, hey, um, I think that we've already been effective. Okay. So a lot of people are like, "Oh man, shit's real bad," and it's just like, hold the fucking line. Like these federal judges are holding the line for us. And you were one of my main go-tos. Cool story, bro. So the real first story we talked about was good news, but somehow I'm out of hopium. Make it make sense. And it's the top story on so many of these. Yeah, right. Thanks to Joe Biden. Here's another great flyer for the protests coming up. Not for long, the future coming on. But yeah, I wanted to make sure we cross that out. We put the bill up. Pramala Jayapal, the congresswoman. Anyway, what I was sharing was this link to the protest flyer for San Diego is pretty dope. One of the things I want to talk about, like you talk about this good stuff that happens, you got to talk about bad stuff that you read about too. So I'm trying to find an article to share, and one of the things you got to make sure you do, you got to make sure you like this, subscribe, comment, share my podcast, share my video from today that says tag and share this with veterans. There's many things that I say in this 13-minute video, but one of them is not only did a whole bunch of you vote for this, but a whole bunch of you said that you would never even let him in office. And I'm not tagging you personally and trying to antagonize you into being violent. I'm just saying, like, we all kind of know now, and that it's time to join the protest because now you have a large section of society that is on the verge of losing their earned benefits, just like Social Security, which again, that's your money that you paid into. So, like, you're just getting your money back with Social Security. It's helping you live a peaceful life when you're older. And again, it's not enough, and everyone deserves more. So don't take this as like you get what you deserve. Um, that's definitely not how I feel about it. But in terms of things like disability, SNAP, which is food stamps, Medicaid, which is healthcare for poor people, SNAP is food for poor people. Um, when these programs lose funding, people are going to die. And it's because, yeah, you know what, King Mason? I know so much that I don't want to know you. How about that, King Mason? You have one less friend. So, um, before yesterday, while I was at lunch, um, hey Corey, I saw an excerpt from Project 2025 talking about the plan to tear apart veterans' benefits. And I'm not gonna go into great details, spend a lot of time. This we ain't drawing up a battle plan, not trying to like overtake Washington D.C. It's not what we're doing. But I'm saying it's time to join the protest if you're a veteran, and it's time. And a lot of people have sat by and watched all this shit happen up to this point and not said a fucking word, right? And I also want to. His name's in it 210 times, Tupond. So tell me how does Project 2025 have nothing to do with Donald Trump and his name is in it 210 times? JD Vance wrote it. That was funded by Peter Thiel as part of the Heritage Foundation. Explain to me. He is literally Project 2025 was written for Donald Trump. It has his name in it 210 times. It was written by his vice president who worked for Heritage Foundation, which was funded by the CCP. Come on. Come on. Come on. Like you're real quick to bend the knee, kiss the boot, lick boots, bend the knee, kiss the ring type shit. Where's the oh? However, was I to know, you've been defending this, and you've run into someone that yeah, no, you're just blocked, fucking making excuses with your fucking bootlicking ass. Nope, nope. I got a short leash, homie. That's just the way the world works. So now that benefits for veterans are in the crosshairs, I'm gonna spend a considerable portion. The piece of content I made earlier today, the content I'm making now, where I'm saying veterans that have stood by the side and just watched. Yeah, so he said what he was gonna do, and he's doing it. Is exactly what he was voted in for, was to completely destabilize the U.S. government in every way possible. Now, do I think he's gonna be successful? No. What am I talking about? I'm talking about saying veterans, it's time to join the protest. People that are about to retire and on Social Security, it's time to protest. People who get SNAP food stamps, people who are on Medicaid, they can't protest. Why? Because most of them are disabled and very poor. And what do you think happens when you're disabled, you're very poor, right? You probably don't have real good nutrition. You're probably not in real good health. You probably, right? So veterans who are I'm not saying better, okay? But it's time to join the protest. The this is not left versus right. This is rich versus poor. So he hasn't won a single lawsuit, Brent. I would like you to explain to the audience, explain to all of us how he will be successful, given that he hasn't passed a single nothing, nothing that he's done. It hasn't been challenged in court, and he's won. So how will he be successful? Before I let you go, explain to the community how he'll be successful despite losing. So, like when he proposes a law and a judge strikes it down, people say stupid shit like, "What if he ignores that? What the fuck do you mean? He passed a law, it got struck down in a court. Is it a law? No. Thank you for not passing and paying attention in government 101 in fucking high school." Not enough to get that haircut, buddy, but enough to just straight up remove you. Don't give a shit. Don't need that. Do you understand that's a false equivalence and a logical fallacy? Did you hear what I said? That's a logical fallacy called a false equivalence. Joe Biden forgiving student loans despite his order being struck down, he used other orders. He used other rules to get around his rule that got struck down. So, again, you're staying in the fight. I can appreciate it. Let's just try to raise our IQ a little. Maybe get up, maybe get 8 hours of sleep, drink water, eat right, exercise. So you got the correct chemicals in your body. No, not how it works. Not how that works. It's a false equivalence. I understand in your brain that you're like, because this happened, this can happen, and that's not how that works. That's called a false equivalence. Welcome to freshman college English 22 years ago. So I understand that this is very difficult for you, like interacting with another human being, but you're going to have a problem. You're going to have a problem. It's called a false equivalence. I can understand. I'm empathetic towards someone that's like ignorant. I didn't know that, Jared. Cool, cool, cool. Agitating our allies and detaching America from the rest of the world is not a smart move. Also correct. Yeah. It's crazy how I would have never thought Canada or Mexico or Greenland or yeah, I think that's pretty good. I never thought any of those countries uh we would be talking about interfering with their way of life. I never in a million years. So I want to make sure as an American, as a veteran, as somebody who has started a political party. We're starting the American Socialist Party. We were looking at art yesterday. I got a Proton email for the party. I'm gonna get a whole account for Proton Mail. I'm just trying to think logically through this. I don't care about money. I want security. So I want safety, right? I want people to be able to give me their name and their phone number and their email and me have a database of that and it not get leaked all over the fucking internet like everybody goddamn else, right? But I also want you to be able to be proud to be a member of the party. And one of the ways that we do that is we get away from establishment politics. Because what we've done in this country as citizens, if we just said, I gotta go to work, man, look, I'm 41 and I'm telling you, for my entire working life, I have just said I got to go to work. I can't I can't participate in this protest. I have to go to work. And that time has passed. We're past that now. I'm not sitting here saying I'm going to miss work and shit. I don't even know if I get to keep my job. I guess I got to find out when I go to work today. I think I'm good. Okay? But I don't even know what my schedule looks like for next week yet. Because again, you got to make it, right? So I want to make sure I take a good portion of my show and dedicate it to resting on your laurels cannot happen anymore. Can't happen anymore. Sitting back, letting this happen around you can't happen anymore. Okay? Many don't have means to get to your state capitals. There's many things you can do to protest. Okay? One, yeah, yeah. So one of the things that you can do is you can stop posting content on Facebook, Threads, and Instagram and get Facebook Messenger and WhatsApp and Twitter and Amazon off of your cell phone and stop using it unless you have to. And then, hey, save it. All of you that are like, but I can't, save it. Okay? There's many of you that own businesses. There's many of you that just simply are too attached to these things to get rid of them. Let me tell you, I have a degree in social media. Did you hear what I said? I literally was so obsessed with it that I went and got a degree in it. So that I wanted to be able to use social media how it was supposed to be used, right? Like Facebook family, right? LinkedIn business, Twitter who you really are, right? That's kind of how I thought about it. And there are other apps, and I thought that they were supposed to be used a certain way, right? Is what I'm getting at. But what happened was in my eyes, and again, this is just me. It went Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. Okay. So there's a lot of other apps, a lot of other things that were good too between Facebook, Twitter, and then TikTok coming into play. Um, but what happened is that the people that owned Facebook, people that owned Twitter, obviously the owner Twitter left. Jack Dorsey left, and Elon Musk bought the company because it didn't have strong leadership. Um, I wanted to always want to make sure I was just using them properly and in doing with uh my online sort of persona, just trying to be consistent, right? So I empathize greatly with people who are like really attached. It's going to be really difficult for me to get off of Facebook, Jared. It's going to be difficult for me to get off of Twitter or Instagram or Threads. I can't imagine anybody having a big problem getting off Threads. Like that's just like a fucking Twitter copy pasta. Um, but if you can't get to, we're talking about if you can't get to a protest, what can you do? Stop trafficking their websites. Facebook, Threads, IG. Get off Facebook Messenger. Get off WhatsApp. Get off uh, Twitter. Get off Amazon. Stop shopping on Amazon unless you absolutely have to. So there's tons that you can do that isn't going to a protest. And I've coined it. So when historians look back on this time frame and they write about what we did to boycott and protest without even leaving our houses, is we stopped doing business with our oppressors, right? They're oppressing us and we're doing business. That seems terrible, right? And now I'm calling for veterans, brothers, sisters, listen to me. If you if you think we're not next, if you think we're not in the crosshairs, let me be your barometer. Hey, they fired 1,000 VA employees yesterday. They want to reclassify veterans benefits. This is going to have an impact on me, but not nearly as big of an impact as it's going to have for those that are less fortunate than I. Okay? I'm just going to see if I can find an article where Germany is calling for action. Okay, Germany is a you should go to YouTube. So understand that Germany is a NATO ally, okay? And yeah, yeah, there's a Dark Horse, there's a reason I'm on here saying like Sherry, it's not even that. I mean it's a millions worse than that. It's a million times worse than that. The House Republicans put forward a budget proposal, what was that, Tuesday, y'all? Where they're cutting $880 billion from Medicaid and 20% of SNAP benefits. So actually, Alphabet Inc. owns that. Google doesn't own YouTube. Google and YouTube are sister companies. I'm going to attack disinformation on yeah, YouTube is owned by Alphabet Inc., which also owns Google. Google has a parent company. Hey, you know what, Angela? I mean, I was in the Marine Corps infantry during a time of war, so I can't say much for all these peacetime guys that served before or after me that have no fucking concept of this shit. Okay? So there's a lot of guys that served 4, 8, their whole careers, and they weren't during wartime. And I've noticed a significant fucking difference. And again, I'm not a war hero, so this isn't me sitting here saying because I saw war. No, 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 no. There's just like a people that like served. before 9/11, and I don't know, after like 2011 and or something like that, that there wasn't global conflict that they were a part of or going on at all. And I've noticed that those peacetime veterans are much more likely to be Republicans. If you think about Ruben Gallego, right? Nope. Alphabet Inc. Always do your research, know your masters, right? And this isn't me saying like YouTube's awesome and perfect. Hell no. Every video I post on YouTube, they take the title and goof it all up. You know what I mean? They're definitely censoring me. 23 years, retired in 2015. Wait, you served through a war, so thank you. Two wars. Two wars, and the pre-war shit, right? I'm doing math in my head. Started in 2001. Oh yeah. So I've been in the workforce for 17 years. Okay. So I was in a been in the workforce 17 years. I've met plenty of veterans whose time of service was peacetime service that are MAGA. Hmm. Yep. I've never met someone who is in the shit that's MAGA. I'm just saying. I can say it with my full fucking chest. And I met like my uncle was a Marine that went to Vietnam. That was the driver for a general in Vietnam, and he was as fucking leftist as I've ever heard someone. And he owned multiple houses and businesses and chain smoked himself to fucking death. Right? Dated a MAGA combat vet. It's wild. That's wild. Where do you think they are pouring money into our military? They're not pouring money into our military, they're taking it away. And because Elon Musk has 90% of government contracts, they're trying to raise the debt ceiling by $4 trillion, take away veterans benefits and Medicaid and SNAP. Like, I'm trying to tell people, like, this is like protest time, boycott time, protest, boycott, strike time. We need to get away from thinking of politics as left and right, as red and blue. We got to get away from it. It is the rich versus the poor. I'm building the American Socialist Party. I'm building the Workers' Party. It is time to protest, boycott, and strike. Until the Democrats come out and decry all that is foul, they're complicit. Exactly what I'm trying to avoid because people see violence as a path forward and it's not. This is not left to right. This is not Democrat or Republican. This is top versus bottom. This is Rift. Left didn't push so much weird shit. They do a lot better. That's fucking stupid. I hate that argument. Progressive policies win. Equality wins elections. There's data that says that 70% of politicians who run on progressive policy win their elections. Violence is a path forward if you move all Project 2025 full. But that's ignorant to think that you're just going to go in and eliminate specific high value targets. That's ignorance. That's hubris. Hell yeah. So do you understand? Like, many of the people calling for violence have no concept of it. There's a reason that I sit here every day and say, violence isn't the answer here. Violence isn't the answer here. I know that you, in your heart of hearts, you think that that's how we get here. That's how we move forward. I was fucking insulted personally. That's an artifact. Do you know how important the Resolute desk is? I have been playing video games my entire life. Do you know how many times and how many different video games I've been in the Oval Office and walked around the Resolute desk? Do you know how many different video games that's in? Like, it's an important, iconic like piece, and to have that little shit rubbing boogers on it was fucking tilting me. But I think it was far more important that the president of the United States let an unelected billionaire stand over him and talk over him and let his sons talk down to him. And he just sat there and took it. See, I always thought Donnie was a Dom. I think Don's a sub. I think Elon's the Dom and Donald Trump's the sub. Yeah, yeah, it was very telling scene. Yeah. Very, very, very chilling. If you have been paying attention to politics, that was very cold. I felt just like this is a dark moment. DJT was the Joker. Yeah, like it's very chaotic. Wait, I saw a comment that was so goddamn stupid. I wanted to talk about it, but not really. Is it true Elon sometimes shut the ship, but it's on Bill Clinton to do what he on for, but it's on for Bill Clinton to do what he did with Lewinsky. I don't understand. Are you talking about a blowjob that happened like 25 years ago? I don't even think that's like in the neighborhood. You think having money makes you powerful. He's allowed to have what he has. You think having money makes you powerful. He is allowed to have what he has. Okay, Giga Chad. I Those are all words, okay? That is not a sentence. I'm dumber for having read that now. May God have mercy on us all. What in the actual fuck was that? My brain is doing goddamn somersaults right now. Like, wow, that was an order of words that I have never fucking seen before. If I would just scroll up, huh? No, 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 no. The what I saw plenty. Okay, not the Russian bot you were looking for. You scrolled up. No, 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 honey. Mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm. We're not talking about like, oh, you didn't get it, but there's more. No, 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 no. So let's just step off of that ledge, my friend. No, I'm not saying that out loud. Listen, buddy. Calling for violence at this point is um trying to cross a bridge too far. Um, do you actually think you can get anywhere near either of them? Yes, why you got to go join a credit union before they tear down the FDIC? Planning for violence, yeah. Yeah. I've been trying. When will that line be crossed? So Joanne, it's a great question. So when the protests get big enough, Donald Trump tries to use the Insurrection Act and invoke martial law, and that's when it immediately turns violent because what will happen is there will be No military is going to turn on the U.S. people. So he's going to try to involve them. They're going to say no. He's going to get his fucking lackeys to come out, right? And look, buddy, at some point I got to cut my losses. Okay, doing nothing doesn't help. 400 million, Hollis. Doing nothing doesn't help. But here's the thing: over the course of history, the most effective forms of resistance have been protest, boycott, and strike. So, people are in here with their nonsense that they're saying in my comment section on TikTok, which again is like that's like going to a zoo. Um, no offense, love y'all. But yeah, but people are saying we have to be violent. Okay. One of the conversations I've had in my time, right, is social. People have said socialism has never worked. Okay. So one of the things that I learned when I did a bunch of research, I did a bunch of research and I read about all these different socialist movements over history. And every single one of them that failed because they got violent. They tried to overthrow their government. They staged a coup, and ultimately, people don't want. Yeah. Uh, what was I saying? All these socialist movements failed because they got violent. So, and what I'm saying is, um, planning for it and like that's what we're gonna go do. That loses. Understand that. Does that make sense? I want to make sure I'm saying like if your platform includes a violent overthrow of the government, it's not socialism. That's communism. Go look at the far right, go look at communism and understand that in order for there to be communism, there has to be a violent overthrow of the government. Yeah. They have fifis. Okay. Understand that all these elected officials are people too, are people first. Okay. Yep. There are far more of us than there are of them. Okay. Okay. Every appreciable protest or every appreciable major change in government and authority that has happened as a result of boycott, strike, or protest, or a combination of them. I don't fucking believe that at all. T. I don't believe that at all. They just got some dollars. I know you ain't talking to me. You're either all DL MAGA or you're part of the left's soft issue. Yeah, tell that to a Marine Corps infantryman. Talk about soft. Yeah, there are way more of us. That's why I'm saying it's time for veterans to protest, especially if you're able bodied. One of the things you got to realize is if you can, you're protesting for people who can't, who physically cannot, who live too far away from a state capital, who don't have a transportation. Yeah, you ain't shit, Adrian. Two fucking followers. Get on here to antagonize me. Get the fuck out of here. Right. Well, that's the whole thing, dude. I've been saying this whole time, okay? What is the point of owning a gun when the government has drones and the missile defense system and the line gun? Have you ever seen the line gun? What are you doing against the line gun? So I'm starting the American Socialist Party, free of foreign government influence, free of Israeli and Russian influence. And I encourage, as I build out my platform, as I pull up, social media accounts, okay? Um, I'm I'm a believer in a specific type of socialism called syndicalism, okay? Okay, so a lot of people need to learn about what syndicalism is, and know that's not being a cynic. Har har. So what it is though, syndicalism is the use of unions as influence. Um, One of the problems that we have is that people don't believe in unions and they don't join unions and they don't seek jobs that have unions because they don't understand what collective bargaining is. They don't know that unions are why there's OSHA. You understand? Um, I don't think we're in the become hill people part. Okay. See? So when I do all this research on socialism and I'm trying to build out a platform for America, it's hey, equality for all is the foundation, and that includes the rule of law. How am I flagged for harassment and bullying? Who was I bullying? Jesus. Oh, the guy that was talking about leftists being soft. I'm a socialist. Left versus right is ignorant as hell. When I hear people that are like dem rep, left, right, calling motherfuckers soft, it's like I never met someone like me. I never met someone like me. So when somebody's making them comments, I'm like, I'm him. I'm this one you keep calling soft. This 6'4", 300 pounds, still in a weight room, can still dunk a basketball at 40. Come call me soft. Marine Corps infantry. Also a black belt in Kempo from when I was a child. So like I said, I'm just telling you, violence is my forte. I just happen to like not think that shit works. Know what I mean? I think honestly, as I get older, I realize like if I had worked as hard on trying to see this shit coming 20 fucking years ago, maybe I could have done something. Instead of I was trying to make myself impenetrable, right? I was trying to make myself bulletproof. And that's not how this works. It's not how any of this works. It's a matter of you get what you give. Yes. Yes, it is, Joanne. But again, I'm trying to keep my side from starting the fight. Do you understand? I'm trying to get my side to not show up at your state capitol armed because that's illegal. And that's how we go to jail. And we need everyone that we can at these protests to not go to jail. Okay? And what happens if these protests get big enough? People have feelings, and their feelings get hurt. Okay? Their feelings get hurt. So, what I'm predicting happens full blown. Protests are great, well attended nationwide, all 50 states. People are really going to come out of the woodwork. Thanks, Amanda. People are really going to come out of the woodwork. And Donald Trump is going to try to invoke the Insurrection Act and invoke martial law. And I think that it was part of the plan. I can't remember if it's in Project 2025 or if I'm making it up. but I think this was part of the plan. And I want you to know, all, just so you understand, when he declares martial law, that's when he's in a world of hurt. Like, does everybody understand? Like, I think this was going to happen. And so there's a reason I'm saying, like, don't go out there and act like idiots. Don't go crash out on somebody. You know what I mean? This isn't the one, right? There could very quickly be one. So if shit does pop off, there could very quickly be one. But one thing I'll tell you is you'll never see American citizens that are on active duty in the military attacking American citizens. I can't speak for fucking part-timers, and no disrespect, but you only go to fucking boot camp and fucking AIT with them. You don't work with them every day. I don't fucking know. Okay? So I'm hoping them part-timers feel the same way us people that were on active duty feel. Okay? You can fuck with me and I can probably handle that. But as someone that's spent 17 years going to the VA hospital in Indianapolis, Indiana, I just don't think you want those people against you. Because veterans tend to have the respect of their communities. Veterans tend to have people that they care about that are attached to them. And when they are like, hey, my benefits are in danger, their crowd grows, their family shows up. And there's a reason I'm making my content and saying, like, I'm not advocating for violence. I'm not telling anyone to start hunting down all these Russian assets, right? Because that's what I've seen. That's the content I saw. I stopped kind of scrolling TikTok and I realized like I'm just making the content. I'm not actually the uh customer anymore because I kept seeing people, veterans, calling for people's heads. And it's like, not only did they not do that, they said Donald Trump will never get in office. He goes up, he's in danger. He'll never even be the president. And that happened, and it didn't happen. And again, it seems an awful lot like all the threats of violence were bluster too, right? And so what I feel like I'm living in a world where I'm sitting in this chair calling people out and saying like y'all have y'all have said you weren't going to keep him from getting into office, and that didn't fucking happen. And now he's coming after our fucking benefits. Social Security's fucking next. Medicaid, SNAP, all are on the chopping block. What's it going to take for you to protest? For you to participate in this great tech rebellion? Right? What's it going to take for you to change your behaviors and no longer fuck with your oppressors? And that means stop taking in their fucking product. Stop buying the shit. Stop shopping at these places that are eliminating DEI. Stop fucking shopping there. When their stock changes, when their stock price collapses, they do stuff. Losing your social security, exactly. See, I've wanted to text my mom, who's the fucking MAGA, right? Who's like pushing 70, ready to fucking retire, has figured she's gonna have to work her whole life. She's getting to a point where she can't, right? So she needs Social Security disability. She needs to retire, right? And I want to text her so bad. I want to text her so bad. You sacrificed our relationship for him, and now he's gonna break your back. Now he's gonna force you to work or be homeless. How's that feel? I'm not helping her. Just so you know, in the way I work, I believe I'm gonna quote from Top Gun. Remember, everybody remember the American classic movie Top Gun? When I wasn't in the Navy, so I don't give a shit about their rank, but I'm assuming the guy was like a lieutenant. Or no, he had to be like a captain or something. He's cussing out Tom Cruise and he says, "You fuck up just this much, you be flying a cargo plane full of rubber dog shit out of Hong Kong." Right? Yeah. Yeah, I don't even know or care, Lewis. You are no one to me. So, yeah, but I don't want to, because I know what the interaction would be like. Oh, if I needed your help, you would help me. And then I would just never respond. It's like I already know how this works. I already know what happens. I text my mom, I hope you lose it all. I'm not helping you. And then you would help me. That would be the text back. Okay. That relationship's over. Yep. And the thing about it is, I'll never go to her house again anyway. So it don't even fucking matter. It don't even fucking matter. Not even for 5 seconds. I'll never go to her house again anyway. She gonna die alone. I hope she starts dating somebody too. I'm gonna tell them exactly who that fucking piece of shit person is. That's how I work. I'm one of those people. You never don't cross me. If you cross me, then you make me spend energy, and you don't want to do that. You really don't want me to use my energy. Because as I've told many people, I'm poor just like you. But I max rolled fucking karma on this playthrough. And if you think for 5 seconds I'm going to upset my karma, I don't have to do anything. I just let karma work. It works a million times harder and is a million times more effective than I would ever be. You can't even draw my ire. It's not even how it works. Target's walking back their DEI talk. I would too if my stock was cratering. Yeah, karma has never let me down. Not one time. There was a really bad bully when I was in high school. Really bad. Like the worst. And I remember my pastor started coming to my sporting events when I was a sophomore because I started on varsity when I was like a sophomore. Well, I mean, I played varsity when I was a sophomore. There was a kid ahead of me who was terrible. But they just let you play if you're older more. Let you start if you're older more. And there was a kid on my football team that was a bully, and I also played other sports with him, and he was generally just like the antagonist of the school. And I always want to fight him. Always wanted to fight him. But he could beat me up. He's bigger than me and stronger than me and faster than me. He's a better athlete. And we both wrestled. So my daddy made me take Kempo. And he said, hopefully he's smart enough to never pick a fight with you. Here, learn how to fight. And he and I never fought. But I seen him pick on people smaller than him, hurt people smaller than him. And I'll never forget, he got into an argument at I think it was a wrestling meet, and said some horrible shit. And my pastor told me after, you don't have to say a word to that young man. Karma will have her way. And I've learned in my life, like, if somebody's just not agreeable with you, being around them's just bothers you at your core, put them on the pay no mind list and just fucking ignore them. That's your best play, is to isolate people whose behavior that you can't tolerate. Isolate them. Make them live with the weight of their decisions, right? And my pastor was correct. And I grew up in the Methodist church. So if you think the Methodist church is preaching fucking karma, no. That was an individual human being seeing another human being's behavior and telling me, like, I know you want to punch him in the face sometimes. Karma will have their way. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about him. And without telling you all the horrible shit, that has happened to that person because I don't even fucking know him anymore. And that's on him. Because I'm a great fucking person. I'm a really good friend. I guarantee you, if you asked him if he regretted how he has behaved in his life, he would tell you that he regrets that shit because of what's happened to him. And I'm not sitting here saying like what happened to him is like worse than what's happened to anyone else. I'm not saying none of that shit. But I guarantee you, what has happened to that person in their life, I guarantee if you asked them if you had to do it all over again, would you have just been a nicer fucking person? He like, yeah, yeah. Ultimately, Congress has the purse strings, but they're doing Donald Trump's bidding right now. So the thing that I'm hearing is that the Republican Party is cratering. Yeah, I'm very much a 100 or 0 person, right? I'm either all in or I'm all out. What's what mean? Congress doesn't have the purse strings, but they're doing Donald Trump's bidding. It's like this is going to take long time for them to get anything. I mean, what we really need to happen, what we really need to happen is we need to win the what's cratering meaning? Folding in on itself, like collapsing, splitting, and all kinds of things are it's folding in on itself as a you know what I mean? That's what cratering means. Terrified of or you mean terrified of how like ineffective he'll be, and how most of what has happened so far in this presidency has been contested and ruled illegal. Keep in mind, all the Republicans voted for it, or, and the only abstain was Mitch McConnell and all the Democrats. Okay. Okay. So make sure I recommend going to this subreddit R50501. I've been talking about it for a while. Okay. Make sure you like this, share this, follow me, let people know where you're spending your mornings. There's an application you can buy called Goods Unite Us. You can search for it under GUU in your app store. GUU Goods Unite Us. Okay. Also, let's say, Jared, is there another subreddit where I can find information on protests? Yeah, Protest Finder USA. Okay. There's Protest Finder USA. There's our 5051. Okay. Couple different places you can go. Where to go? Our closest place to shop is a Meyer. Yeah. They're trying to voter suppress the upcoming elections, two in Florida, one in Western Pennsylvania. Here's the link from Ballotpedia. These elections are in Florida. So if you know people in Florida, Talk a little more on places we should avoid shopping. Here's grabyourwallet.com telling you what places to boycott. Okay. Yeah, truly. Okay. So, first things first, Bloomingdale's. I'm going to point out places I know. Good to go. Bloomingdale's, Bonton, Century 21, the department store, Dillard's, Elder Beerman, Hudson Bay, Kmart, Lord and Taylor, Macy's, Sears, Rakuten, Saks Off Fifth, Steinmart, Von Maur, Yonkers. Okay. Amazon, obviously, HSN, Jet, Overstock, and Rakuten. Let's see. Clothing, DSW, eyeglasses.com, heels.com, ivankatrump.com, ivankatrumpfinejewelry.com, Marshalls, Ross stores, TJ Maxx, Zappos. Let's see. Bill.com, Booking.com, Expedia.com, Hotels.com, Kayak, Orbitz, Priceline, Travelocity, Trump Hotels. Look at large contributors. Okay. Jesus. Here's who's the big contributors. Did not say Mart. Yeah, so here's the links. You can find out who donated money to him. Okay. And then the companies to boycott on that website. Okay. Okay. Grabyourwallet.com. Okay. Is where you can find out. Um, happy Valentine's Day. I haven't even really said it. I need to text my wife. Hey, happy Valentine's Day, babe. I know we're going through like wild times. It's still most important, most imperative to control what you can control, right? And I've tried to tell everyone you got to try to get 8 hours of sleep a night. And clearly, there's an entire percentage of the population that did not get the memo. Hey, as a kid, it sounds a lot easier to do, get 8 hours of sleep, than when you're an adult, right? Because when you're an adult, you got like stressors and shit that keeps you lying in bed at night looking straight up. Whatever you're doing during the day sets you up for rest. So I know, if you're gonna get 8 hours of sleep a night, understand that what you do during the day has got to lead you to rest, and then you actually got to get it done. And if you're gonna prioritize rest, you're gonna need to hydrate. You're gonna need and want water. Drink water. Mostly though, pay attention to how clean your water is. Okay? Me too. I'm ready to party. I'm ready to actually have people that have unending spirit and unending will and an unending desire for a functioning government that is not led by people that are owned wholly by Israel or Russia. Yeah. basically, and the thing about it is you got to think about the lowest of us, the people that are on the border of homeless. Like a Brita filter is not a priority. So then it's like just try to get clean water. Like make sure you're not drinking brown water, right? Like that's the kind of overarching thought is like we want everyone to have clean water, right? Is another part of a platform is like yes, it'd be great if everybody could afford a Brita filter, right? But what's probably better is, hey, just try to make sure it's clean water, right? And then you gotta eat right. A lot of the people that like support Donald Trump they own these chain restaurants. There's a bunch of chain restaurants we can't go to anymore. My wife and I won't eat Taco Bell ever again. I'll never eat Wendy's ever again. Okay? I'm trying to remember the other restaurants. But there are other restaurants that supported Donald Trump. Okay? Mhm. But yeah, if you're gonna get 8 hours of sleep and you're gonna drink water and you're gonna eat right, might as well exercise. Chick-fil-A. I mean, I've been off Chick-fil-A though. I've been off Chick-fil-A. I believe I'm pretty sure their owner of Chick-fil-A eliminated protections for the LGBTQIA plus crowd. No? No? Good question though. QVC owns HSN, but they're not on the list. Hey, it's important to know who these people's parent companies are too. Yeah. So I haven't had Chick-fil-A in years. Literally, probably a decade. Wow, it's crazy to say. Like, I haven't had that shit in like 10 years. Panera too. Oh no. Whatever will we do without Panera? But yeah, one of the things that I've learned recently, and it kind of is hilarious now. So let's say, like, you know how there's like 7 countries in the world that aren't charter members of the International Criminal Court? Yeah. This means that those countries purport that they have a democracy and a military and they have a whole legal system that will uh, allow them to prosecute their own. What's important to understand is crime is prosecuted based on where it takes place. And so I want to make sure I say it in this camera too. When you commit a crime, you're subject to the rules where the crime takes place. Guess who's a member of the International Criminal Court? I'll let you have all the guesses you want. Palestine. Yeah, they're a member of the ICC. And so this genocide that Israel and Donald Trump has helped Bibi commit in Palestine, guess what? The US not being party to the Rome Statute, that don't fucking matter. That don't fucking matter. Interpol. Like, it's gonna happen. Yeah, it's gonna happen. Hmm? Like I said, big protest on Monday. Control what you can control. I'm gonna try to get down there before the protest and get some eyes on. I'm gonna try to advance scout the protest. I want to see if the police are putting up markers, if they're blocking off certain streets, if parking garages are closed or businesses are putting up that they're going to be closed. I want to be able to document this because I have to work. I won't actually probably be at the protest. Unless I can't imagine that I get fired today. I can't imagine. I'm not lying to people. I'm incredible. I sing for my dinner. But yeah, remember, yeah, that's wrong. Yeah. And again, I've been saying this whole time, yes, the US wants to delegitimize the ICC. They've been doing it for 20 plus years, George Bush. Okay? But for particularly heinous crimes, like crimes against humanity, the US signed the Dodd Amendment, which clearly says you do something fucking bad enough. I mean, again, it doesn't matter. It matters where did the crime take place? The crime took place in Palestine, in Ukraine. Those are both ICC members. So the crime, the jurisdiction of the ICC is based on where the crime happened. So just want to throw that out there. Just make sure you know. And that makes sense, right? Like if you were speeding in Illinois and you got pulled over in Illinois, you get ticketed in Illinois, tried in Illinois, right? It's going to affect your driver's license in Indiana, where I live, right? But if I was to drive to another state, get a ticket, I'm not doing what they do here, which is you can defer if it's your first ticket and all that shit. They don't have the same rules. Does that make sense? Crime, you get tried based on the rule of the land, not the rule of your land. Whatever's legal here may not be legal in another country. That's one of the things about Americans, as somebody who's traveled all over the world and been fucking embarrassed by Americans that aren't cultured and don't know that however the fuck you were acting in the United States, not probably cool elsewhere. And Ukraine just got on board January 1st, 2025. Yeah. So kind of a precursor to joining NATO is joining an international court. Now they've got leadership. They're embroiled in a war. Remember, there are 40,000. Yawn. There are like 40,000 NATO troops there in Ukraine. Or at least there were. Oh, by the way, put the word out. I need a treasurer for this political party. I can make myself the treasurer, but again, if I make myself the treasurer, that feels an awful lot like seeking power to me, and that's not what I'm trying to do. Okay? So I know a lot of there's somebody posted in this thread. I want to make sure we see, look, somebody said, can we just start a new political party? And I posted in there, I'm starting the American Socialist Party. You need to get in there, find my comment, and comment. Like, this guy has a daily live podcast where he sit and discuss news and politics. I'm going to do it no matter what. No matter fucking what. Can you imagine? And it's the only time I'm gonna say this shit like this. Can you imagine if I was the president of the United States who woke up early in the morning, took in the news, and spent 90 minutes before he did shit for the day talking to his constituents and addressing their concerns and having like a sort of conversation where he told you what he was worried about. He gave you a little insight at what was going to go on today. He let you know that he gave a fuck, right? That I show up every day. I don't ever get sick. I don't have fucking kids. I'm going to be here every day. Are you going to be here? You know, a lot of what I hear, I don't hear a lot of detraction. So there aren't a lot of people saying like this isn't possible, this isn't going to happen. There's not a lot of that. What I've heard a lot of is like it'll never happen. It'll never happen. And those same people, when you talk to those people, if only I was president, right? And again, I want to make sure everybody understands that's not my goal. It can't be. My goal is to change the path of American politics, not to be president, not to be king, not to be in charge. That's not the point. The point is it's not me. It's not about me. It's about what I represent. And I am a monolith, right? I am an Eagle Scout. Not only an Eagle Scout, I'm Order of the Arrow. I was in the Marine Corps Infantry during a time of war. I'm not a war hero, but I know some, right? And I have a college degree. I am a homeowner. I have fulfilled the American dream. I have received socialism for my service. I demand it for all of us. See, running for political office, you're running to do a job, no matter what that is. And suffice it to say, there's no amount of money that could get me into politics. They don't pay enough. But what can happen and will happen is that you start the American Socialist Party, its popularity grows, you help a whole bunch of people figure out their platform so they can run for public office and what policies they're going to try to put forward and how they're going to do that within the confines of their local state government, right? And then eventually what happens is we become the majority party in the United States. And that won't take very long because the alternative is the Democrats that don't have a platform and the Republicans whose platform is fucking hate. Oh, by the way, let me back up. Democrats do have a platform. It's at least we're not the Republicans. Right? Because the law doesn't apply equally, right? Apply a little human decency. Swear to fucking God. No shit. So like I said, one of the things I want to make sure I say before anything, this is not a play for power. Hmm. I don't want it for myself. See, real people, real men plant trees whose shade they'll never sit in. I don't want to work with people that take money from Israel, Carol. So I don't want to take money for people that stock trade and insider trade and let Americans die on their watch. All these Democrats saying our phones are getting blown up every day. I get 1,600 calls, Hakeem Jeffries. People are looking to you for guidance, and instead of meeting them, you said we're the minority party. Call the Republicans. It's their show. And that tells me that Hakeem Jeffries is a coward who's bought and sold by AI PAC. He's entirely stuffed full of Israeli money. So he's not going to help us. And almost all these elected officials are. They're almost all taking money from Russia or Israel. I saw a chart that 100 elected Democrats took money from Israel. Almost all of them stock trade and insiders trade, except for AOC and Tim Walz. And there's only a handful. There's only like 3 elected officials that don't take money from big PACs and super PACs. And that's AOC, Rashida Tlaib, and Ilhan Omar. The ones that the fucking right hates. Ah, Jasmine Crockett's she's a shit, but she's just a girl boss. She's gonna do what the fuck she do. She's a black woman in politics. hmm She's a fucking demon. She's great. She's a thorn. She's a thorn in these motherfuckers' side, and there's nothing they can do about it. Catch the clips on YouTube. You know what I mean? Catch her highlights. They should do a Jasmine Crockett Sports Center top 10. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of anyone that speaks truth to power. Oh, and by the way, people are gonna be like, "Oh, money." I don't know. She probably took some money. She's a corporate Democrat. Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem is that if you don't fall in line, they'll dismiss you. And I'm anti-authority anyway, right? I've never really had great leadership ever in my whole life, except when I was on active duty. So like I said, I'm starting the American Socialist Party. I got a Proton email account for the party yesterday, so it's like a secure email account. Okay. Now I gotta find out where to host the website. Because like you gotta have all the social media sites. And I'm gonna need mods for all those social media sites. Uh, because I'm not gonna be able to do that shit on my own. Good to go. But we'll have to make some content where I'm a little more dressed up and really do this, right? I think we really, it's about I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but I know for a fact that I've had many people that are already elected officials reach out to me and say I'm off it. Like I'm off the Democrats and Republicans as a fucking rat race. We ain't ever winning. Oh, for sure. I'm a firm believer in that. From Indianapolis, Indiana. hmm as pure as the driven snow. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm giving myself. I'm saying like this isn't so I could become president. I think that's the easiest thing to do. That's the easy thing is to just be like, I'm building this for myself. Nope. There's like 565 elected officials in the United States, and I think that we could literally fuck up American politics and put a socialist in every chair who actually want to work for the American people, who actually want to advance um, civil rights, workers' rights, unions, who want education, who want to get religion out of politics, religion out of schools, right? Sort of like the exact opposite of the regime we're living under now, right? Because that's what most Americans want. That's what most American wants. Yeah, I want to advance arts and sciences. Yeah, I'm a STEM teacher. I'm still in school. I'm still in college, getting a degree in data analytics with the goal of being a STEM teacher. Yeah, I'm a big proponent of the arts. I didn't do show choir in a show choir high school so that I could do art. I'd rather, one of my favorite projects in high school was build your own business. And I was a big fan growing up because I was poor and I worked from the moment I could work, I worked. And so I was always dating and going out and eating dinners and shit. And so I was a Applebee's, Chili's kid, um, and young adult. And when I was in high school, we got to make a business. And I also like my parents had a little pretty good jobs when I was growing up, so we vacationed, right? Um, And so when you go on vacations, you're going to go to similar like familiar places. Hard Rock Cafe is one of them. So if you grew up eating Chili's and Applebee's, and when you everywhere you went on vacation, there's a fucking Hard Rock, um, you can relate to. I wanted to make like a Whataburger, like a Build-A-Burger. Like think of Build-A-Bear, right? Build-A-Bear before Build-A-Bear existed, but it's burgers and it's called Hometown Heroes. And it's unique to every city it's in, and you just flood the walls with newspaper clippings and pictures of like the local people that are just like Hard Rock Cafe, but instead it would, in Indiana, in Indianapolis, it would be like Purdue basketball, Purdue football, IU basketball, Pacers, Colts, and that would kind of be what, maybe some Mellencamp shit, right, on the wall, whatever. Um, yeah, like Fuddruckers, before Fuddruckers. Obviously, Fuddruckers, the name is part of the reason that. Anyway, um, but yeah, that was like my favorite art project in high school is like designing your own restaurant. And I think just have doing that when you're 16, you know what I mean? That was 25 years ago. Obviously, it had a lasting impact on my life, right? There's a whole lot of math class that your boy was just like, what the fuck? And I had to take 2 years of college courses in high school in math, like the advanced math that you get college credit for. Oh my God. It was the worst. You know why it was the worst? Here, I'll tell you. I've been in the workforce for a long goddamn time. And you know what you almost 100% of the fucking time have access to? A calculator. The internet. Imagine like you're a kid and you got to learn to do all this shit by fucking hand. When there's a goddamn scientific calculator now, you could put the problem in and it'll just tell you how they figured all that out. And you're like, "Holy shit. That's incredible." Oh, but you can't use that. And you're just like, "What? When will you ever have to do math on the fly in your head?" When did that happen? You always have like paper or calculator, your cell phone. Yeah, that's silly. Silly to not have a calculator, when you've got a cell phone. Anyway, so at least we're ending on kind of a goofy note. As I've said, have a great weekend. Happy Valentine's Day. Try to get rest. Um, and go Monday and protest your little ass off. Make sure this is the time to get signs made. I have suggested that you continue to attack the relationship between Elon Musk and Donald Trump. And there are ways to do that. I'm recommending the one that's like Elon Musk is a terrible president. Okay. So it's easy to get caught up in hypersexualizing their relationship, posting Banksy memes, using that as your fucking protest flyer and shit. And it's like, hey, you have to make it a point that Donald Trump is not in charge here. Elon Musk is. And I think that's how things change. Okay? Elon Musk is a terrible president. That's what you put on a flyer, put on a poster, and take a picture of it and send it to me, like post it on Blue Sky and tag me and say, this is what I'm doing. Okay? Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Okay, we gotta get out of here. Been on here about 90 minutes. I gotta go to work. That I hope I don't get fired from. But you know, Babe Ruth, you gotta learn how to relate. Think for the petty cake. I've been saying like vote for Gal Valamont, vote Gay Valamont, vote for Joshua Wheel, right? I've been saying it. Where's the commercials? Do you hate how things are going right now? Do you think that if there was a chance the Democrats take control of the House, that we don't have to deal with this fuck shit? Vote for Gay Valamont. Vote for President Musk, Vice President Trump, first couch Vance. This morning. Yeah, Renee, but what was crazy is that the Democrats were saying, like, don't call us, call the Republicans. We're the minority party, as if they've never heard of being the opposition. You know, they represent the majority of American people. You should act like it. You should be getting phone calls. You should be super furious if you're an elected official, and you should be speaking on it. And when you're not, it makes me think you're complicit because again, all of these people are tied up in stocks, stock trading and insider trading. So they need the sort of volatility that Donald Trump provides to the market so they can increase their stock portfolio. So understand, as George Carlin said, rest in peace. It's a big club and you ain't in it. It's just fucking true. I mean, I've been really nice this whole time, where I was like, "Oh, we're gonna build the American Socialist Party," and now I'm just like, "Nah, the Democrats are fucking complicit." So, oops. Yeah, but it's like, don't call the Republicans at the expense of calling. Don't call the Republicans at the expense of calling Democrats. Does that make sense? It's not call them instead of us. It's no, call both, right? It's your fucking job. When you get elected into office, you work for your constituents, right? I think it's the expectation. Like if you become part of the party, you got to do it this way. The money just can't buy. I always like to look at the analytics. I'm gonna shove it up your ass. You could do that with five calls, which is another app you can put on your phone that'll find out who you're supposed to be calling, and it'll even give you a script to read when you call them. So Goods Unite Us, five calls. I think that's what that's called. See y'all. Touch that with my finger. See y'all.